Hello, dear friends. Today we are honored to talk with Sherif Othman, psychologist from Cairo. Hello, dear Sherif.
How are you?
How are you?
Happy to be here.
Could you please tell us why did you choose to be a psychologist?
This started a long time ago, but I first started when my grandmother had mental health problems and she suffered with Alzheimer's. And since then, I noticed the importance of mental health. I was only 12 years old, but I started reading about psychology since I was 12 until today, and I never stopped putting a psychology book down. And then, fast forward, 20 plus years, and here I am working as a psychologist and school counselor as well.
In your opinion, what are the main problems healthcare is facing today?
I think there's a lot of problems with healthcare. If we're talking around the world, first of all, I think the best thing we can do in medicine is preventative medicine. Like, if you can prevent a disease, that's better than finding a cure for it, right? But the only problem is that we live in a world that's run with money, so it's not good for business, right? Unfortunately, big pharma and doctors would not be as wealthy, unfortunately, unless there was diseases, and that were not, if they prevent them, then they don't get any income. That's the reality of the situation. So I think that's one of the biggest problems, that we don't work enough on preventative measures because there's a financial incentive. Another problem we have is not equal access to healthcare, right? Mostly the ones who can afford it are the ones who get the healthcare. Healthcare is very pricey, especially with chronic illnesses. In mental health care, mental or psychotropic medicine is very expensive. So that's another problem we're suffering from in healthcare. Also, we don't have equal opportunities for everyone to be a healthcare worker. Right? Getting into med school is also costly. And there's a lot of people who would love to work in healthcare and do not have the financial means to do so, because going through med school is 7 years, or depending on what country you're in, is costly. And there's a lot of potential that's lost in people who can give so much to that field, but it's lost because due to financial restrictions they have. So, that's just a few problems I could think of.
Thank you so much. And why do you think statistics of mental problems is increasing rapidly nowadays?
Well, it's not a secret why mental health problems are increasing year from year to the other. Look around you and you see that the world is becoming increasingly stressful to live in. With the economic situation collapsing, you have more and more children being raised in dysfunctional homes or broken homes. People going homeless even is higher than ever. You have the stress of maintaining jobs. That's another problem, because now it's sort of like the game of musical chairs, where there's jobs are being cut, or people are laying off employees, and you're breaking your own people when you do that. And unfortunately, mental illness is on the rise because of that stress. Suicide rates are even higher than ever. So there's so many stressors that are going on. That's just contributing to it, right? And right now there is a need for mental health workers. Now people are acknowledging it, but it would have been better, like I said before, if we had just prevented the stress from happening, rather than trying to fix people who are suffering from mental health illness, right? I know it's not good for my business if I say that, but that's the truth. Right? And I wish I would never want or wish anyone any mental illness just for my financial gain. I would love for them to be healthy because some damage is irreversible, and I wish we didn't have to have mental health care workers. Right? It would have been a happier world, but that's the reality we're in.
But we are capable to change the system, so healthy care workers would get a salary for healthy people. Wouldn't it be better?
Yeah, well, if there was no health problems, I'd find something else to do. I wouldn't worry about money then. I'd worry about doing something I love. You know, as mental health workers or professionals, you're not going to be filthy rich. You know, you choose this career because you're passionate about helping people. You know, you're not passionate about making money or being wealthy. That's not the name or the name of the game. Right? You're trying to work on people's well-being. Right? This is all we're trying to do. We give our time, we give our emotions for it. We pour our heart out just to help others, and we do it because we love it. You know, and if we don't love it, the clients will realize this and they will not come again. Right? So the ones who do come again realize that we do love it.
Yes, all people feel when you're doing it from your heart.
Yes, it's felt. You know, like empathy. When you have empathy for someone, you can't fake empathy. Right? You can't be like, oh yeah, I feel bad for you. You can't fake it. It's something that's felt, not said. And clients are highly receptive, and they can understand and read body language and facial expressions very well. And they can tell who's genuine and who's not. So.
Yes, definitely. Sherif, today people from all over the world are discussing and framing the model of creative society which is opposite to consumerist society where all people will feel comfortable, safe, happy. I know you are familiar with this project. What do you think about it?
I totally support the creative society. It sounds like it's the utopia we should be living in here, and I love that we're working on achieving that sort of world, and we're doing it one person at a time. We're not being unrealistic. We know our strength comes in numbers, and so the more we grow, the more influence we have. And one of my favorite things about the creative society is that it's about working from the inside out. Right? It's all about internal growth and development. It's not about fighting some external force or something. It's a very peaceful movement. It has no aggression. It has no any sort of negative feelings. They're not protesting, or it's all about working on people from the inside out and working on their growth and maximizing their potential. Accepting them for who they are, not judging anyone, where people can be free, which is one of the foundations of the creative society, freedom, right? And you can just have the equal opportunities that were not presented to you before due to many restrictions, whether it's political or financial or whatever the reason was.
You already mentioned the 8 foundations of creative society, which were the result of global research. Participants of the project did interviews with people from many countries and social surveys, asking them what kind of world would you like to live in. And now we have 8 foundations of creative society. What do you like the most about them, and what benefits do you see for yourself and every person in the world when these foundations are implemented?
It's really hard to pick one because they're all really good. But I really like the freedom one, for example. That's the one that really came to mind. I think freedom is something that's being taken away from us every single day, very slowly, and we as people are acquiescing and letting our freedoms go to others, and this is hurting us, and some of us don't realize that. But I think we need to get back that freedom. You know, we need to get it back, and I think it opens so many other doors. If you have freedom of choice, freedom to choose how you want to live your life. You know, as long as it doesn't encroach on the freedoms of others. You know, because freedom has limitations. Right? Because if you can be free to hurt other people. That's not freedom. That's something else. So, yeah. So as long as everyone is free within their own limitations, to me that's like my favorite one. But I love them all. And I support every single one of the 8 foundations.
Great. Which can help us to become free as individuals and as a society as a whole?
I think one of the things that would make us free is realizing how powerful we are, even on our own. How much our voice really means. How much not complying with orders just because they're told to us blindly. If we just say no, you know, the power of no, and refusing to comply or cooperate with something that's we know is either corrupt or going to hurt someone. This is how we win back our freedom again. So I think this is one of the most fundamental steps we need to work on to get back that freedom, which we've lost.
How important is it for each person to take personal responsibility for the processes which are happening in society, to speak up and to express what they really want?
It's very important because if we don't take personal responsibility, we're not going to be able to send that message to others. Right? If we start blaming someone else, or then what we are saying is they have the power, we are powerless. But if you take responsibility, you also take the power back to you. Right? As they say in superhero comics, you know, with great powers comes great responsibility, right? They go hand in hand. So if you have responsibility, then yes, you own up to the mistakes you make, but you also own up to the successes that you have, right? Which is very liberating when you have that. You're like, okay, I can blame myself, and I've made my own mistakes, and I take ownership. And I don't feel bad about it because it made me who I am today. Right? I've done so many mistakes, countless mistakes, and they have built me up fundamentally to who I am today. And I would not go back in time and change it. I want it to be just as it is. So they do go hand in hand.
How do you see cooperation between different countries? Why it is important for all humanity to unite and to be one family?
Well, the thing is, it's not about uniting, it's about reuniting. We were one family. We are one family.
Actually,
we just have forgotten, right? And we need to remember who we really are. We are all humans, and we're all part of the human family. Right? You know, it doesn't matter what your passport says, that's a piece of paper. Right? You're a human. It doesn't matter what your color is, what your beliefs are, you know, what your income bracket is, what anything is. Everything is a social construct, except that you're human. It's the one thing that's a biological construct and a natural construct. Right? So everything else doesn't matter. If we can lift veil of our minds and realize who we really are. We're all humans, and we have been manipulated to think differently, that we are not all the same, that there's a hierarchy in society. All of that is learned, and all of it is a lie. The truth is one family, and we're all equal. That's the truth.
It's true. To build creative society, it's very important, firstly, to inform all people about this project, or else it just won't be fair.
Yes.
It will be a project of some group of people,
Yeah.
but it's a project of all humanity. What can help us to inform everyone on the earth faster, so we will build creative society faster.
Okay. Yes, of course, one of the foundations of a creative society is equal access to information, right, and transparency. So it won't be fair that only a few people have access to it. So in order for us to spread the message around to everyone as fast as possible, it would have to be a collaboration with the whole society, working together, working with their contacts and spreading that knowledge, because it can't be based on the shoulders on a few people or the founders of it. The new members have to become or have to participate actively in the society. They can't be passive members and be like, okay, I'm part of the society, I'm just gonna chill now. But they should be active participants, because when you have the numbers start to multiply, the faster the rate of the growth. It will, if everyone can be active, it will spread like wildfire around the world. So I think that should be one of the fundamental responsibilities. Since we're talking about responsibilities, if you're going to be a member of the society, you should be an active member into spreading the message to those who haven't had the privilege to know about it.
What would you like to wish to all people around the globe? You can say
Okay. What I'd like to say is that try to embrace the foundations of the creative society. If you look deeply into them, you will realize that every one of them benefits you. It doesn't benefit any party or any group. It doesn't single out anyone. It's a very inclusive set of values that leaves no one behind. So keep an open mind and an open heart, when looking at them, and you'll be surprised at how beneficial it will be if you actually consider taking up those values.
Thank you so much. It was very inspiring and
thank you so much. I was really happy to do this interview. Thank you.
Thank you.